Hi, seventh grade. I am off campus today. I will also be off campus on Wednesday, but Wednesday is release day, so you won't have me. I will be back on Thursday. Uh, this week we start a whole new unit, and it's going to be on the Aztecs, the civilization that we're going to be focusing on. It's going to be the Aztecs, and it's going to take us um, about a month. It's going to take us a couple weeks. Before we talk about the Aztecs, we are going to talk a little bit about the old world and the new world and how the new world was populated. If you remember, the old world is made up of Africa. We have Europe. So Africa is this big one here. We have Europe, and then we also have Asia. This big one here. So this is the old world: Africa, Asia, and Europe. Now it's called the old world because uh, it's from the perspective of the Europeans, right? When the Europeans discovered, quote unquote, this area, to them, this was new. So they called this the New World, right? So the New World is made up of North America and South America, okay? So again, the Old World and New World. Now, in sixth grade, you most likely talked a lot or quite a bit about early humans, right? And early humans are these groups of people, we can call them people, early humans, that evolved in the old world, right? They evolved in Africa. They also evolved in Europe and also Asia. Now, you might remember some of their names. For example, Neanderthals, they grew in or they developed in Europe. Okay, so these early humans, some of which include us, Homo sapiens, were constantly moving around. They're constantly moving around, roaming from place to place, looking for food, right? Across Africa, Europe, and Asia. Just roaming around, right? They were nomadic. They were migrating from spot to spot in search of food. They were hunter gatherers. A hunter gatherer is they never really stay in one spot. They usually follow the herd of animals, they move with the weather, but also usually they follow the herd of animals. And this is thousands and thousands of years ago. This is hundreds of thousands of years ago. To some extent, millions of years ago in Africa, right? 2.5 million years in Africa. Um, about 50,000 years ago, 30, 40, 50,000 years ago, people began to migrate around Europe and also Asia. Okay? So, how did people, if people evolved in Africa, Europe, and Asia, how did they make it here? How did they make it to this area? Because people did make it here, they migrated here, they're hunter gatherers, they made it to North America and also South America. Because we know that when the Europeans left Europe, right? When the Europeans left Europe, they discovered, quote unquote, discovered this new world by accident, right? Because what they wanted to do was they wanted to go from Europe, and they didn't know that this existed. At least at that time, they didn't. And they thought, well, we want to go to Asia, we want to go here, we want to go to this part of the world. So there's a couple of ways we can do that. We can go south across Africa and up again and get to Asia that way. We can go west. So I can't really mark on this, but if you go through Italy, Greece, and you move by land here, we can do that. But Muslims control this area, so we can't really do that. So instead, let's go this way. So they land here, thinking that this is Asia, and obviously that's not Asia, right? Asia is all the way on the other side. Oh, I went too fast. So here's Cuba. You have to know these areas, and they thought they were here. They thought they were in this area here. Okay, they were really, really way off. Now, but I got ahead of myself a little bit. How did people, before the Europeans discovered it in 1492, how did they make it? How did people make it from this area to this area when there's a whole ocean in between them? They didn't swim. That's too much. Maybe there was ice here. We don't know. Today's lesson is going to focus on how did early people between 30 and 40,000 years ago, maybe even earlier, migrated from this area all the way to this area. And you'll soon discover, you might already know that, um, between 30 and 40 or 50,000 years ago, there was an ice age, right? When lots of the world was covered in ice. So people actually had access to like dry land. So imagine people are walking this way. So they start here, right? And this takes thousands of years, right? This is these are long distances. So they're walking, they make it to Europe, they might walk here. And they go into Russia, and they hit this area here. This area here is known as the Bering Straits. You're more than welcome to look it up on your own map, right? Today, if you go here, it's water. But thousands of years ago, this was actually connected by ice. So people were able to actually cross from the old world. This is the old world to the new world. If I zoom out, you'll see what it looks like. There's North America, and there's South America. Okay, so let me zoom out again. So here we have North America. If I rotate this, again, that's North America. We live here. This is California. If I rotate this way, that's the Bering Straits. If I keep rotating, that's Asia, Africa, and Europe. Okay. Today, you're going to be reviewing this. When I get back on Thursday, we are going to review this. I'm also going to give you the new vocabulary on Thursday. On Thursday, I will also give you a retake for the vocabulary that you did not pass if you did not pass it. Today's lesson is focusing on the land bridge theory. You have two short videos to watch. You have this one, the land bridge theory. I suggest you watch this one first, the one that says the first Americans, and then also the land bridge, the Bering Strait land bridge, this one. And you also have an article to work on. The article is called History of the Land Bridge Theory. If you go to level 1060, I've annotated part of it already for you. So just keep annotating the way you would annotate. I do want you to take the multiple choice quiz. If you don't get a 3 out of 4, please take it again. One thing that I forgot to mention is that the ice age eventually does end, right? And this water does eventually melt, or the ice eventually melts. So that means that these people are now isolated. The people that settle here are isolated from the people in this area, right? The people that migrate during the last ice age, those people settle here. Those people eventually become the Native Americans. So when the Europeans discover this region for the first time, they are seeing people, the descendants of the people that migrated. Okay, if you look at a lot of images of Native Americans, they have, if you look at people that were here, right, they have genes that are very similar to people that lived here. When I say genes, I mean like their cellular data, not the genes that you wear. So they because they share common ancestors, right? People from here and people from here. These become the Native Americans. In the next couple of months or weeks, we're going to be focusing on one major civilization. That's going to be the Aztecs. The Aztec civilization developed in central Mexico. Okay, and the reason we need to know, or we're talking about the Bering Strait, is because we need to know where these people come from, right? Thousands and thousands of years ago, people migrated to the New World as a result of this ice age. If it had not been for the ice age, people might have never made it to the New World. Again, the New World is North and South America. to summarize, you're watching this video. You will be watching the two videos that I've assigned you. It's called the Land Bridge Theory in the Bering Straits. You need to get 70%. And also work on the Land Bridge Theory. Um, yeah, email me if you have any questions. I will be back on Thursday. I will be checking in with students that are missing their essay. If you are missing your essay, you will need to do a retake. That's just, I've communicated that to you multiple times and also to your parents. I will see you guys on Thursday.